Great. We'll go ahead and get started as people kind of funnel in, and we'll be recording this and distributing this as usual. It was another solid week on the mobile. And again, you guys hear me talk about kind of our three work streams, right? Mobile dev, the L1, and then the marketplace. So on the L1, again, working to stabilize DevNet. You guys may visit the link occasionally to the Block Explorer. You'll get telemetry from the DevNet occasionally. Right now, it's done on purpose, but we're constantly kind of experimenting with different Genesis configurations. We're also doing test deployments of some of the contracts as well. So that's going well. On the data science front, the data science front kind of integrates, put that under the L1 umbrella, because the reality is there's going to be web services that are off the ML pipeline that are going to provide input to some of the contract calculations for our SAC algorithms. So that's going well too. Continue to test with kind of some real live social media data off of Twitter specifically into the Kubeflow pipeline. So that's going well. That's pretty steady. No major updates there. We're looking to get testnet kind of solidified and stabilized by the end of this month. And the key point there is having a repeatable process in place to do promotions from our testnet, which is a single node validator, to the multi-node, the DevNet single node validator testnet to the multi-node cluster. The testnet will always be slightly behind DevNet on purpose because of stability and the different capacity that testnet's going to have. But we're starting to, this week we'll stand up the VMs for testnet and get that finalized. And then we're also working to stabilize DevNet as much as we can. It's pretty much chaos on the Dev validator. So, but that's what it's for, experimentation. On the marketplace side, the only thing left is still collections. That team, I believe, will be wrapped at the end of this week with collections. They're also going to be applying our branding guidelines as well. So the look and feel that everybody's kind of familiar with the UNIMOON.io website, the mobile app, et cetera, that'll be applied. So it'll be a nice cohesive experience. They've also been continuing to do integration. We still don't have an optimal solution for the kind of the multi-session sign-on. So we'll likely do some flavor of QR code to bind a session from mobile app to the NFT marketplace, big browser experience. That's pretty common in the industry, pretty well known. But we're going to experiment with some of the modalities that are going forward. So that will likely evolve through MVP and even beyond MVP, what that user authentication experience looks like. On the mobile app front, iOS and Android app development is full steam ahead. We've got backend services integrated with authentication, posting. We're going to be refining, hopefully over the next maybe 10 days or so, the Banuba content creation experience. So we really wanted a really nice experience when you create a post, the editing around it, et cetera. And we're leaning on a company called Banuba. They have an SDK out there that's specifically made for that stuff. So we'll be activating more of that and those features in it as well. We've got the beginnings of the NFT integration and the wallet integration have begun as well. So I mentioned a comment last week that, we'd be showing a demo. We're going to try this. Hopefully it comes through. Can you guys see I'm hoping that you guys can see my screen. Let's see if it pops. It doesn't look like it's updating. Bear with me a second, guys. There we go. Awesome. So as you guys can see, we've got the UNIMOON app, at least a very, very rough alpha build of it. So this is running on Android. So right now what you guys are seeing, it's actually integrated to the storage DCS blockchain-based web storage service. There's some bugs there. The team actually just fixed it this morning. So, whoa. Can you guys not hear me? You guys should be able to hear me. Oh, there we go. So anyways, that is the integrated with the blockchain-based storage service, storage DCS. There we go. So the content's getting uploaded there. There was a bug last week on Friday. The team fixed it this morning, so it's not in this build. So some of this is coming from an old source. Some of it's where you see errors, actually, where I try to go back and forth to the live timeline. You'll see a server error in the bottom there. That's some of the integration with storage that the guys fixed this morning. But again, it's a very kind of familiar experience, right? So it's TikTok and IG. There are some subtle differences, right, as you go through here. So very familiar experience around trending and searching, DMs, messages. We support, obviously, point-to-point user messaging. All this is available as part of MVP. User profile, again, edit profile, all of this stuff is very common for kind of a familiar social media experience. All of your settings, being able to invite friends, manage, being able to get a verified account, a blue tick, essentially. We're going to have that concept implemented as well. All the policies, that are part of the project essentially will be there as well. And on this screen, you'll see a couple of things that are a little different, right? So you'll notice that there's really two tabs. There's video and still, right? So we're trying to combine the experience, some stuff from IG, some stuff from TikTok. But what you'll notice is if you look above it a little bit, there's an NFT button and a wallet button. So toward, next to the edit profile area, there's an NFT button. So the things that you upload, that you create and you post, you're actually able to instantly mint into an NFT. Once that's done, the workflow will carry it through. It either goes into your wallet locally, obviously on the blockchain, but the keys are local. Or you can go through kind of a familiar marketplace experience where you put it up for auction, et cetera, right? So you can do that with stills. You can also do that with videos, right? So the one thing that we wanted to do is have that video NFT experience, right? So we've kind of envisioned a world where, creators can create, whether it's, capturing a little snippet of something, humorous out in your daily life, being able to kind of immortalize that and then generate provenance off it. Whether you want to sell it or not, or trade it as a trading card or something like that, that's totally up to the individual. We just wanted to have the tooling in place so that the individual could decide that. The neat thing is, even if you don't decide to sell it, but you want to trade it, you can track provenance on it, which is very important, that it originated with your wallet. Again, you can do that with video, and for MVP, you'll be able to do that with video and still as well. And then it's the embedded wallet, right? So being able to create a native wallet on our L1. Again, our L1 is based on Solana, so we're leveraging a lot of the Solana tooling that's already been out there around mobile wallets, et cetera. And there are not really any good production caliber SDKs for mobile wallets, so we're actually taking some open source helper SDKs or helper libraries for iOS and Android, and we're kind of extending them and kind of implementing them. They're basically wrappers on the web services, so they're the right amount of help. You want to create an account, you'll get your basically BIP compliant passphrase, your mnemonic phrase that will be used to generate your seed. Okay, you saved it somewhere. Eventually, if the phone detects capabilities around Face ID or biometrics, you'll be able to, it'll challenge you to enable that or not, right? So we highly recommend that. However, there's issues with biometric security as well, right? But if you want to, for convenience, fingerprint or Face ID, I'll go ahead and skip that. I'll enter just a test password right now. Right, and then you get dropped into your wallet, right? We have some feedback around this. We actually want to make it a little less noisy. Look, we're really happy with the look and feel of it, but some of the detail is a little verbose. Where there's been some innovations recently in some mobile wallet designs where we kind of hide some of this stuff. We can hide the timestamps, for example, that are kind of in each line item. I wanted to make it easier to consume for users. But yeah, you have a separate set of, while it's embedded in the app, this is not a separate app. It's part of the UNIMOON app. You're going to have common kind of mobile wallet characteristics as well. Let's go back in. All right. Sending things, right? So there's some internal discussion right now around this. So the contact, right? So the idea is that you're not going to have to necessarily type in somebody's destination wallet address. You can have a contact list essentially in your wallet. It's one of the usability things that the project wants. We want to make it very useful, right? So you can select a contact from your list. et cetera, and validate the transaction, get challenged for it, et cetera, just like a normal wallet. Receive, right now we're doing QR code, obviously. You can copy that. Eventually, you'll be able to send a request ID as well to somebody in your contact list for UNIMOON as well. And so we're really trying to build the infrastructure around kind of, what the Web 2 transaction flow, but with Web 3 technology. And we really are trying to hide a lot of the Web 3 technology. A lot of the stuff from a UX standpoint is familiar Web 2. So yeah, you can track receipts, you can share the receipts, et cetera. We kind of envision long-term that this might be, shared with maybe a third party, some kind of, ledger or accounting application to track things. But we wanted to kind of build it with that intention. And that's pretty much the wallet right now. So it's coming, things are coming along pretty well. Still tons of work to do. There's a massive amount of work. The teams are doing well. Like I said, February is the month of integration. So that's where all these different work streams kind of start getting a little more cohesive, right? So everything, for the most part has been developed kind of siloed with the idea that there are specific integration points. We're starting to integrate that stuff now. So the first things to integrate were the mobile app and the NFT marketplace. And then now it's going to be obviously the mobile app, the marketplace with the L1, right? Just because those are frankly more known quantities. Aside from that, the data science stuff is net new. A lot of the SAC calculations in that algorithm is net new. Those are the things that you might hear me mention that are the fun things, the 10 or 15% that are fun. The rest is fun, but it's a lot of blocking and tackling, right? To use an American football reference. So things are going great. You guys we have another busy week ahead. You have questions, drop them in the chat, and the community mods will bubble them up as necessary. That being said, have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. I know the AMA schedule also I expect to come out this week as well. The project team talked about it internally last week, so keep an eye out for that, and hope everybody has a great week.